Hi friends, welcome to Stitching with Nicole. It is March 27th, 2025. Welcome to my weekly Stitching with Nicole update. And today I'm coming from you for a little different view for part of my video, mostly because I have my NASH stash top 10 laid out here on my counter. You can kind of see here, I've been picking fabric, fixing floss. I'm going to also share, like, I got my floss orders today, so I'll be going ahead and finishing kitting everything up for the Startathon. I don't necessarily think I'll start everything this weekend. I might, who knows, but they're started and they're ready to go. I know for sure I'm not going to start a daily reminder. This one right here quite yet. I am going to wait till Tara Sullivan of Sully's Stitches birthday to start that one. I think we are both celebrating the same birthday this year, so that's kind of fun. Mine's just not till later this year. And so I am going to talk about all the things I stitched this week. I finished 2 things, almost 3. One was a start finish, so I'm excited to share that. I finished 4 things, 3 that have been done forever, I FFO'd 4 things, pardon me. 3 that have been done forever, and 1 that I just finished up this last week. Love them all. Kind of happy that I waited for a little bit to finish the 3 Easter Cherry Hill Stitchery ones because I didn't know how I wanted to finish them. And I think I remember my original idea, definitely not what I ended up with. So that's kind of fun and cool. And I'm really, really happy with my FFO'S, and they're going to be perfect for my Easter decor. Finish up a Brenda Gervais piece. I finished stitching. I wanted to FFO it, but I didn't get it done yet. The freebie from Primrose Cottage, the St. Patrick's Day. And I started and almost finished something new. I will have that done soon. And I'm going to talk about plans. I'm going to talk about some Enable Vision. I have some Stitchy Kindness. I have a really, really big box of Stitchy Kindness that I want to talk to you guys about. Yeah, just all kinds of good stuff. I feel like I'm settling back into somewhat of a normal routine. I know my video was delayed a little bit, but I wanted to come to you because the Startathon put on by LINDY'S Stitches is starting Friday. So I wanted to get my top 10, what I've kitted up for or from Nashville Needlework Market out for you guys. So let's go ahead and dive in to today's video and share what I have FFO'd this week. Okay, so I mentioned I have 4 FFO'S. So excited to finally be FFOing again. I know I mentioned this in the intro, but there is something when you're out of sync with life, like you have some sort of interruption, and they happen all the time. For example, we're coming on graduation season. I had a graduate last year, and there are those interruptions. I call them interruptions out of the everyday norm. It doesn't mean they're bad. They're often very good things. Weddings, new babies, graduations, other fun occasions, whatever it is. However, when they stack on top of each other, or sometimes they're good things, but maybe not like celebration-y,
For example, I had a big class I went and taught in California that required a lot of prep work. While the event was amazing and great, getting there was a lot of work, and it disrupted my normal routine. And I am a routine kind of girl. I like to have my normal morning routine, and I don't do well when things get out of whack. I've never been really a fly by the seat of my pants kind of gal, is what I'm saying. And a lot of people are. That's great. I'm friends with people who are good at that. Like, if I'm going to go out and do something, you can't just call me and say, hey, let's go do this. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you no. Because I have to prep myself mentally for it. That sounds so stupid to say this out loud. If I cut this out of the video, you'll know why. But I have, in 49 years of life, I've decided I know who I am. I know how I am, and I'm okay with that. So I know it. And then I require a lot of recovery time. I love to be out. I love to go to retreats. I love to do all that stuff. But I have to have recovery time when I get home because it tires me out. That's it. That's all there is to it. Anyway, this is a very long story for I got to FFO some stuff, and I'm super excited. So I shared with you guys, and I'm going to show it here, and then I will show you the down camera version of it as well. But I showed you that I had started Tied with Heartstrings by With Thy Needle and Thread. Now, this is an older chart. I'm going to tell you when this is from. 2015 is when this actually came out. And I loved this. It was something I thought I would stitch like Valentine's Day-ish because of the heart shape. For those who know, you know, I love hearts. In my paper crafting world, I use hearts all of the time. Well, I loved this, but the colors aren't necessarily Valentine's-y. I thought this would be a beautiful decor piece to stick in a display in a bowl all year long. I know that I've heard, I think Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher talk about this, and it's something I have noticed about kind of what I have been drawn to this year. Don't get me wrong, I love the seasonal stuff and I still stitch a ton of that. But having some things that can be up in my home all year long, I found myself drawn to some of those pieces instead of things that I'm switching out all of the time. I'll switch out seasonal stuff because I love it and I love stitching it, but having some things that can just be out and be on display at all times is also very important. So I loved this. This really matches my whole vibe, funny enough, for as much color as I have in my life and in my crafting, in my home, I am very neutral because I just feel like whatever I put in it then goes great. So this is pretty neutral and I love it. I'm in a weird mood, I've noticed. We're going to go with it. Okay, so I stitched this with, I stitched with Belle Soie. Classic Colorworks Belle Soies for the first time for this, and I love, love, love it. And if you're part of my newsletter, you have seen this, but here is my FFO. So I did fill this with crushed walnut shells. You can see it's a good size. It's not super teeny tiny. That's what Brenda Gervais suggested. I think she suggested maybe sawdust or whatever. I did do crushed walnut shells in here. Here's my fabric on the back. I did cut it open and I did just put, I sewed it shut, but then I put a patch over it to make it look nicer. I was going to do the seam and then I decided to go ahead and do it this way. And I love it. I followed her directions. I used these vintagey buttons from my friend Holly, Mrs. Jones Stitches. So it was kind of nice to be able to incorporate something from a friend into this stitch. And like I said, if you are subscribed to my newsletter, you guys got to see this several days ago. So definitely subscribe to my newsletter because I share sneak peeks of things in that. I'm very excited to tuck this into displays. I put some vintage pins in here, not vintage pins, some little black pins in here. I will link to those down below. I think they're from Hoop and Frame. I think that's where I got them. I'll double check. But I just love this. I think it turned out so, so cute, Couldn't be happier with the finish on here. I may trim these up a little bit. I can't tell. Lady Dot Creates Trim, silk seam binding ribbon, everything called for. Called for fabric. This is 32 count, the color linen from Weeks Dye Works. Called for Belsoise. The silk was a different color. I used what I had on hand. Buttons from my friend Holly, and then I just used whatever pins I had. So a little Tilda fabric is what I used on the back. Kept it very, very neutral. Let me flip the camera so you guys can see it here. And I just think it's a beautiful finished piece. This stitched up really, really fast. Very, very fast. And the finish really didn't take me that long either. I will say, because I was filling it with the crushed walnut shells, even after I had threaded this silk ribbon through here following the directions in the chart, I did iron interfacing to both the front piece and my back piece because I didn't want anything trying to come out from the linen, and I just felt that would protect my stitches better. So I had to be kind of careful with that. I had my ribbon all like squished in here, so while I pressed that interfacing onto the back, but I think it worked out really great. Very, very happy with this finish. Really fun. Highly recommend it. If you're looking for this chart, I did find this. I haven't checked since my newsletter went out. When my newsletter went out, I did check. Michelle of Farm Girl Dry Goods did have this in stock, so I did link to it. If it's not in stock any longer there when this video goes up, I'll let you know, or just sign up for notifications or email Farm Girl Dry Goods to see if she can get more of these from Brenda Gervais. Or I think I ordered this directly from Brenda Gervais, but I'll be honest, I could not find it on the website. I looked for it and I couldn't find it. So I may have to do another search and check again, but it's not a new chart and I absolutely love it. It was a nice, fun, quick stitch, and it was a satisfying stitch. I have a lot of bigger projects going. Many of us do, and so it was really nice to have something that I could start, finish, check it off, FFO'd, completely done. So that is my first one. Let's move that. Okay, the second thing I finished. Probably 2 years ago, maybe, at least, I stitched these cute little Easter charts from Cherry Hill Stitchery. I stitched bunny food, and I remember that this is 36 antique white linen. We have Bunnies Love Carrots, and we have Carrot Patch Hop This Way. They were all stitched in the same DMC colors. And unfortunately, I think I've talked about this it's been quite a while ago, so it's not going to be anything recent. I stitched these all on the same piece of fabric and I made a little blunder. When I trimmed these down, I can't show you because I've finished them on the back now. I showed that I laced the linen to some press-on board with batting back behind it, but I hardly had any margin at all or any overlap. I was really having to pull it and make sure it looked good, etc. because, and I chose to lace it. Also the first things I laced because I did not give myself enough. I cut it down too tight when I cut it down. So because of that, I felt limited. And I know at the beginning of the video I said the thing I finished, I had really intended to do something else. I've actually bought some other finishing board pieces for this. They didn't really work. And then I had bought the signpost, the hanging signpost from 141 Design. And this is, I don't know what size this is. I'm going to pop it on the screen and I will link to the exact one down below. But I I had bought these and I thought, well, it'd be cute to make little signs to hang from here. And you know how sometimes, and maybe it was because it wasn't in season, but I just had a hard time getting myself to figure it out and to finish it. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Well, crazy enough, at the end of last week or weekend, it popped into my head, and I'll show on this one, and I'll flip the camera around and show it too, that I could do, very much inspired by Kathy Haberman. I'm going to say that right now. I think she is just a finishing queen, and I love, love, love everything I've learned from her so far, and hopefully will continue to learn from her. But she does a lot of finishes where she has lots of ornaments. She has the circles. She has all the things where she has the piece on the front, a piece on the back. She sews them together, and then she'll sometimes add a trim, sometimes not. Well, I've done a few little things, ornaments and whatnot, and I thought I had intended all along, I wanted little signs to hang from a signpost that I could tuck in with my bunnies, my bunny decor, my egg decor. I love the soft palette of these. I didn't want them to be over the top. I wanted them to be pretty simple. I felt like I have a lot of like white bunnies and natural bunnies, wood bunnies, wicker bunnies, or, you know, whatever that material is. And I thought this would look really, really cute tucked into my bunny decor to be part of my Easter decor. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to make my own little hanging signs for here. So the front has batting back behind it on press-on board. The fabric on the back is some Lori Holt gingham fabric. It's the same for all three. If this is still, I'm sure this is still available. I'll link to it. But what I did was I just placed this directly on another piece of press-on board, and each of my squares is 3 3/4. So the front was 3 3/4, the back piece. Once I had both of these laced, and I did lace both the front and the back, remember these were already laced, I went ahead and stitched the 2 layers together really tight. You can see it's a very light profile. I don't want something heavy hanging from these little signs. And they're very, very lightweight. So it works perfect. So I sewed them together, and then I took some 3mm jute and I overlapped it up here at the top, and I took it all the way around, and I did hand stitch it in place. Maybe you can see that a little bit. I'll flip the camera and show you as well. I stitched it in place, and down here at the bottom, I just snipped the ends, and then I just kind of unraveled a little bit to finish. I tucked, I have this ribbon. I think it's a Stampin' Up! Ribbon. I use those black pins that I use to decorate my heart to stick that in the top. Kathy does that a lot. I don't know that I've done that before. I thought it was really cute. And then I used Chantal's Bow Maker, the 2.5-inch bow maker with some Lawn Fawn twine. And I went around, I don't know, 5 times, 6 times. I didn't really count. I wanted a very loopy but very delicate natural type bow, and then I hot glued that to the jute twine up here at the top. So that is my little finish for these. Super simple, super, super sweet. Oops, love it a lot. Now I want to talk about having to redo the lacing for the front of one of these too before I show all 3. It was most evident on bunny food. In our stitching journeys, we learn a lot. We may not. We don't know everything off the bat. And as I came back to cross stitch, I learned a lot. First of all, stitching on white, you got to be careful. I also was not doing a pin stitch start when I stitched these, which is what I do now, which doesn't leave super long tails on the back or anything, as you guys know. But so I was starting on the back and just catching my thread, and I'd have long tails. Well, I didn't clean it up. I laced this sucker, and it's been bothering me, and I've just left it for months and months, probably a year actually. This one had like a brown tail over here, and it had a couple other, it wasn't terrible. This one up here was the worst. And I thought, you know what? It doesn't take that long to lace this. Fix it now, or you're going to see it always. So I just took my scissors on the back, snipped through all of my lacing, removed it, which was probably what took the longest, by the way, cleaned up the back of this so that there weren't any long tails everywhere that I could see through here. Relaced it, and then I finished this one. So that is what I did for that one. Let me flip my camera and we'll take a little peek at all three of these. These are quick stitches, could still be done in time for Easter. Highly recommend. If you love a nice little quick stitch and you love bunny decor like I love bunny decor, you could change the color palette if you want to, but I love this color palette. I have a lot of like white, green type and natural type of Easter decor, and I think this matches perfectly and just love these so much. Let's talk about the signpost from Chantal. I stained all of my pieces. If you follow my Instagram stories, I did show this. I think I did this Saturday night. I stained all these pieces with, is it Jacobine stain from Minwax. And then I just did a sealer. Well, I haven't done the sealant coat yet. I need to seal these still. So I stained all the pieces. I assembled them with the glue that Chantal recommends. It'll show here on the screen. I can't think of the name right now, and I will link it in the supplies. It does have an extra piece because you can choose to do this little knob here or down here. Well, when I was looking at this, if I hung them down here, I felt like they would hang too low. I wanted it to hang from up here, and I love that. So that is what they look like, and I'm going to hold all three up to the front-facing camera just because they're not big, but obviously they're bigger. So here's what they look like. Here's all three of them, and I'm just going to scatter them throughout my Easter decor. So very excited. And if you want to see my Easter decor, we're going to have a little Decorate With Me Easter edition coming in next week's video. Let's talk about what I finished stitching last week. So I was stitching the Happy St. Patrick's Day freebie from Primrose Cottage. And I have been stitching a lot of these the three free stitch Friday stitches I have done. I've been stitching on 46 count raw linen by Zweigart. So that is what I stitched this one on. And I really, like I said, I really did want to finish this one, or FFO this one. I just didn't get to it. So I'm going to try to get to it this week, but I just wanted to get my video filmed. So I decided, just forget it. I'll show it when I get it done. And I did use my own colors. I used Color and Cotton, Sargasso C, Pickle, and Shadow. And this was quick, easy. So it is tiny, but I think it'll make just a super cute, tiny little pillow. And if I get real motivated, I'll do the October and the November ones too. But absolutely love how this turned out. I did share this on social media. So this one I have shown somewhere, but I did want to show it in today's video as well. Make sure you're signed up for Primrose Cottage newsletter. I will put a link to this down below too, so that you never miss a Free Stitch Friday. Let's talk new start and whip for the week. So the only other thing that I have been stitching on, and I was talking to a friend this week and I said, I feel like I'm kind of, I don't know if this is just the phase I'm in or whatever, but I feel like I'm just sitting with a stitch for a little bit. If it's a small, I'm working to complete it instead of just skipping from thing to thing. I realize the Startathon is this weekend, so it may look like I'm completely abandoning that, but I still feel very motivated to sit with things and get them done. In fact, when we talk about plans, we'll talk about that. But I finished St. Patrick's Day. I finished Tied with Heartstrings. And so I thought I'm going to reward myself with an Easter start and hopefully finish. And I know this has some big chunks of color in it. So I knew it would take a little bit longer than probably, it wouldn't be done like this, but it's not very long either. Well, this is also a new designer to me. So what I've been stitching is Cottontail and Company by Scattered Seed Samplers. This is my first stitch from Scattered Seed Samplers. I purchased this at the Silver Needle on December 31st, 2024 when I went with my friends Lori and Karen. Fully kitted minus fabric. They did not have the called for fabric, which I feel like, oh, vintage beeswax. Yeah, I can't find that anywhere. So I was like, that's fine. I know I'll have something in my stash. I bought all the floss for it, minus the DMC, which is fine. I actually substituted this to Sanguine by Weeks Dye Works. But I fully kitted it while I was there with the floss. And the reason I fell in love with this, they had the sample, which we talk about all the time on Flosstube. When you see the samples in person, that's when you fall in love with pieces. I'm going to pop it in right here so you guys can see it. They finished it into a pillow with this beautiful gathered ribbon, decorative, just all the way around the pillow. I loved it. And I immediately picked this up and kitted it to bring it home. I don't do that super often, and so I knew this would be an Easter stitch this year. It was very easy to pull this one out. I wanted a new start. I wanted an Easter start, and this one I had fully kitted. I just grabbed some fabric from my stash, which I picked. I think it's my favorite color from Color and Cotton, which is 36 count Treasure Map, which was a club kit color. And here is my stitching. You can see I'm on the fill-in portion. I actually don't need my chart anymore. I'm just using my two last colors, which are Wood Trail and Kudzu. Yep. Wood Trail by Gentle Arts and Kudzu by Weeks. To do this, I didn't quite make it all the way right here, but I know that's the Kudzu color. But I have stitched all the polka dots on my bunny. And all I have to do now is fill. So I've started my fill in here. I did, again, replace the pink in the ear and on the noses of the bunnies with Sanguine instead of DMC 407. But I could not love this more. I cannot wait to finish it. I just think it's so pretty. I am kind of addicted to this style of bunny. Brenda Gervais has some great ones this year. The tulips. I love the blues. Brenda also is incorporating blues into her stitches. This design, I think, is from just 2022 from Scattered Seed Samplers. Yes, and they have some other really nice bunny charts as well, but I just think it's beautiful. I love this. It just stitched up so easy. I started here and I stitched the border like this and like this. And then I did stitch in the border for the grass down here. I did my flowers. And then I did kind of the ABC up here and filled in the little white scattered, you know, what's it, I guess. I did the 1, 2, 3 and the hearts over here and all the little things. Did my bunnies, outlined my big bunny. And then I just started filling in. And it has been a joy to stitch. Every stitch on this has been an absolute joy. I don't even know what it is. I am just absolutely loving this. I think it's so pretty and really excited. And hopefully this will be an FFO next week. It will for sure be a finish, but I hope it's an FFO because I just love it. Okay, that is it for what I have stitched on or FFO'd this last week. We're going to talk plans. I'm going to take you back out to the kitchen and we're going to kit up the rest of my NASH Stash Lindy's Stitches Startathon pieces. I'm going to talk about my top 10. When I say top 10, it's more of like the top 10 what I'm going to start. It doesn't mean I love anything else less. I really don't. And I did pick a lot of smalls and a couple of bigger things for top 10. There's really no, like top one. It's not ranking. It's not going to be in any particular order. So that obviously will be one focus for me going forward after we finish our Cottontail and Company. But I need to get back to my A Moment in Chalk by Hands On Design. I had hoped to finish that in February. As you know, I finished my Blessing Sampler, the October House Fiber Arts Americana Blue in January, trying to focus on a big piece each month. Well, February was insert your favorite colorful language. Blank show is what I feel like it was for me. And so I didn't even touch it. And March has been fast and furious, and so I haven't touched it yet, even though I will be touching it as soon as Cottontail and Company is done. It is my focus piece. I'm excited. I'm excited about it. So that's my first plan, is A Moment in Chalk. That needs to be my focus, and then I can pick one of my other big stitches to be a focus piece. My other focus obviously is going to be my Startathon. Plus I have some Easter things, which we will talk about in next week's video when I do Decorate With Me. I will show you the charts I pulled out. I think I put them in a newsletter at some point, just saying some things that were kind of catching my eye. And I'll talk about, you know, what I start for Easter, what I'm stitching. I really, really think I'm going to try, other than the Startathon things that are a start, I am really going to try, if I pick up one of the Easter things, to stitch it finish, because they're smalls. They're all smalls. Stitch and finish. I think 95% of them are Brenda Gervais. And just stitch them. Stitch it, finish it, and if I get to something else, great. If I don't, okay, that's fine. There's next year. So that's kind of my plan. Let's go kit up some projects. Now that I have everything somewhat kitted up, I'm going to walk you through all of it with the down camera and just show you kind of where I'm at with my kitting. Sometimes I may not have the fabric, but I've got floss or floss on the way for everything, and I'm going to share my top 10. So we, of course, have our Animal Cracker Lily from Stacy Nash. I have not chosen my fabric for this yet, but I will likely choose something here in the next day or two. I definitely think I'll probably start this one either Friday or Saturday, so I will get that one kitted up. I am putting all my floss on these little rings that I get on Amazon, and then I did put the little key tags on each so that I would know what floss goes with what. And I'm going to set this one aside to go through my excuse me, fabric and see what I want to kit that one up with. Next, I have my other Stacy Nash start, which is the Pink Pear Needle Book. And again, I've got my floss. I've got this. I have the Rhubarb Velveteen from Lady Dot Creates for finishing. So I'm probably going to just put all of this together in my bag. And again, I do need to pick out some fabric for this. I haven't decided. I may even do this on a 40 count because I do have a 40 count fabric that I think I'd like in the right color, but I will pull colors for this. I worked on all of this for so many hours today, and I just could not get all of my fabric chosen, so maybe tomorrow. Next up, my fabric has not shipped yet, but I was able to I did get the 40 count dark soil ordered from Kitten Stitcher, and I ordered it in 36 as well just to have, but I have my floss, I have my little tag. I tagged all of them. I was doing so many different ones. I was afraid I would get them all mixed up. So I hope that this ships pretty soon, but this won't be a this weekend start because I don't think I'll have the fabric for it yet. So as soon as that comes, I can't wait to start stitching. This actually is part of my Enable Vision. I purchased several of these kits from Samplers Not Forgotten. I got the Be Still My Heart Hydrangea kit. I love this one. It's very springy. Everything comes in here, so all I have to do is literally just start working on it. Super, super pretty. This is another one of my top. We have Coco's Garden from Teresa Kogut, which was one of my very, very top favorite ones. I have done an almost 100% conversion for this using color and cotton from my stash. I did pull the Called for Gingerbread Classic Colorworks, which is the color for the bunny. And for my fabric, the model was stitched on a 40 count. I think it was Bray. So many stitches were stitched on that. I am going to use this Patriots Brew from R&R. And here are my colors. I think it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be fine. I'm excited about this. So this is Coco's Garden. Since I did do my color conversion and have everything, this will be maybe my first start. We'll see. That one or this one. Of course, we have the Ladybug Picnic from Hands On Design. I had every single floss for this one in my stash. I did get the 36 count pomegranate fabric from Fabrics by Stephanie to stitch mine on. I ordered directly from Fabrics by Stephanie because I like to stitch on 36 or 40, and the sample is 32. Got it really quick. Have on my fabric. I gifted to a friend so she could stitch this as well, and I can't wait to stitch this beauty up. Then I kitted these together because they do use much of the same floss. We have Spring Trio from With Thy Needle and Thread, and this is what I was talking about earlier when I was showing my cottontail piece. I just feel like the colors and the styles all kind of go together, definitely, even though that piece was a different designer from a couple years ago. And then I have Hop into Spring. And I have my colors all just on a ring here. I'm going to stitch Hop into Spring first and then hopefully start working on some of these. I am using Pyrite for Hop into Spring, which is the Called for 36 count. And then I have 36 count Winter Brew for the Spring Trio, which is also the Called for. This is a daily reminder from With Thy Needle and Thread. This is going to be Tara Sullivan of Sully Stitch's birthday start. I've got the arboreal fabric, that green fabric for this. I've got my threads. I think I stole one thread from here. I'll have to grab it again. But this will be a start on her birthday, and I'm going to put here on the screen if I find when that is. I think it's April 6th, but I don't want to say wrong. But that's when I am going to start this one for the start along. I'm going to call all these well, they're not start alongs, but that one's a start along for me. And then finally, this was my stitch that I just had to have. This is Parkington Manor Sampler from Rosewood Manor. And my floss is on its way to me. I think it's scheduled to be here tomorrow. So probably about the time this video goes up, I will have all of the floss for this. It's all Weeks Dye Works. And I am pulled, the sample was stitched on 28 count, which I don't want to stitch on. I pulled this Overcast 36 count by Cedar River Linens. Because there's some white in here, I think that this has got White Lightning. Yeah, 4 skeins of White Lightning. I wanted something with a little bit of color, but not overpowering, so it still kind of has this effect. I think Overcast is going to be fine. If I end up not liking it, we'll talk about that then. But I just love this piece. So super, super pretty. Okay, friends, that is my top 10 and my NASH Stash Start-a-thon top 10 charts that I picked for this year. Very excited about all of the things. Let's be honest, I'm always excited about stitching. So let's go ahead and talk about Enable Vision next. Okay, so I actually missed filming. I love when I do this. I actually missed filming all of my Enable Vision, so we're going to refilm it. First up, I got the rest of my market orders. So from Farm Girl Dry Goods, I ordered the hydrangea kit from Samplers Not Forgotten, but I also got Autumn Abundance, and this is beautiful. This is the full kit for this one. I'll add this to my stash. I got the Linton Rose Drum from Samplers Not Forgotten. This is just the chart, not the full kit. Add that to my stash as well. I just love it. I just love drums. Then the other order I was waiting on when I filmed last week's video was my silver needle order, which I got the Rhubarb Velveteen from Lady Dot Creates. I got the Shepherd's Bush Olaf's Stocking. I love, love, love the Shepherd's Bush stockings. I've got to get to stitching these. And I got the embellishment pack to go with this. And then I also picked up the Shepherd's Bush Home is Where We Start. I love this. I love the smoke in the chimney says love. And I just love that. I was thinking this would be pretty easy to switch colors on as well. I'd like to stitch this, I think, for my daughter and her husband. Okay, then I got the Frilltastic from Chantal's 141 design. This is the finishing piece for Hop to It. Is that right? From With Thy Needle and Thread. I've said so many Easter things, I've kind of lost track now. So I picked this up to finish it on after I get that stitched. And then I did get the Sew Sampler from Fat Quarter Shop. Thank you so much, Fat Quarter Shop. This is the March one. It's called Spring Revival. I opened this for you guys on camera, but, you know, wasn't filming it. That's always fun. So I'm going to go through it quickly. You always get the little card that says what comes in here. You get the Waterfall New Beginnings Petite Fat Quarter Bundle valued at $28.98. This is by Sandy Gervais for Riley Blake. The colors are absolutely gorgeous. And I like the pattern for this time as well. It's called Waterfall. So pretty. And here is the back. The pattern is valued at $9.98. You're getting some iron cleaner, which is always a great thing. This is valued at $6.48. Let's put stuff back in here as we go. We also got the Peaceful Baskets Quilt Along finishing and last block. And I am so super glad that I kept up with this. Everybody's laughing. I didn't. I have all the things. I just haven't sewn them. But you know what? That's okay. Valued at $9.96. Here's what the finished quilt looks like. I just love it. I need to get sewing. And then the last two things, and the first thing is the Olfa Endurance 45mm blade. I love these. They could put this in the box every month and I would be happy. I love a new blade, and these are my favorites, so super excited about that. And then the standout this month is the Pink Mini Vacuum. This is an exclusive from Fat Quarter Shop. It's valued at $8.98. And I opened it and ran it, and nobody got to see it because, again, hadn't pushed record. That's fun. Here is what it looks like. It does come with a power cord. It comes with a little brush for cleaning. And then it comes with the little attachment. But you charge it right here with the power cord. And then you can run it against, you guys can't see because I cleaned up this before I filmed, but I do have a couple of little things over on the side and it is picking them up. You can also put this on here and use that to clean up little areas. So cute, right? I am thinking this is so cute for desktops and would make great little stocking stuffer gifts at the holidays. It would make great little friend gifts, Easter basket gifts. If this is available for individual purchase, which a lot of times these things are, I will link it down below, but I think this is awesome, cute little notion that anyone could love. Okay. And that is it for Enable Vision this week. Just short and sweet. Most of it was things that I was just waiting to get and to finish out my Nashville Needlework Market haul. I have 2 pieces of happy mail that I want to share with you. Cards, and then I have a huge group of happy mail. I'm going to briefly show it. The person who sent it would like me not to share their name, so I'm not going to, but we are going to talk just briefly about it. None of it will be given away right now. Some of it I'm actually going to keep, but I do want to show it and just say a huge, huge thank you to the very generous viewer who gifted it to me. I'm not going to share a whole lot beyond that, but I think it's going to bless several someones, and I'm very, very excited about it. So first up, I've got some cards. Susan sent me a lovely thank you card for a giveaway that she won. This is a really cute card. Trader Joe's, it says. That is a cute card. I love that. Thank you so much, Susan. Not necessary, but I do appreciate it. And then Christy sent a beautiful card that she made. Absolutely lovely. Sweet, sweet note. And she also had won a giveaway, and she also sent some money to help with cover shipping costs. Good gravy. Shipping costs for giveaways, which I very much appreciate. Thank you so much, Christy. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? Okay. And I'll be right back with part of the other giveaway. I can't show it all to you in one shot. Okay, so you can see some felt kits here. These are color stories from Pashta Design. I'm going to hold it up in a little bit. There's also 2 of the holiday kits. One is the snow globe kit, one is an ornament kit. I have the snow globe one, so for sure the scenic snow globe will be a giveaway at some point. Homespun holiday vintage ornaments too, I do not have, so I was excited about that. I definitely am going to keep that one and make some things with it. So wonderful gifts. And then I'm going to hold this up. It's color stories, and then this plastic bin at the bottom is full of brand new Pashta dies, many seasons, many different ones. Some I have, some I don't. I have not had a chance to go through it all yet. But I'm going to hold this up just to show you. This is most of it. I didn't go ahead and bring it all in here. It's loads and loads of felt and sequins and floss and dies and all of the things. Thank you so much. You know who you are. This is definitely going to bless some people. You guys know I have felt stitching dies for spellbinders. I love felt stitching. I feel like it's a nice addition to our stitching hobby. I think they go hand in hand. I've talked about that a lot. I don't know how I want to say this. I feel like I've kind of, with my summer projects, hit my groove, maybe. You'll see when I'm able to show those to you. My Patreon members did get a sneak peek, not of the full project, but they got sneak peeks. So I'm very grateful. There was a die cut machine as well, brand new. I will tell you that because it was gifted to me, and my poor die cut machine. I have several die cut machines, but it's my absolute favorite one. Because I'd put it through the ringer with prepping for that class, I did go ahead and trade it out. But mine is not that old, and I did buy new plates for it and everything. And another friend and I have a friend who's a little interested in felt stitching, and so I think we're putting together a care package. But there will be giveaways as well with this stuff. So I did want to mention that. I just wanted to say thank you again. It was extremely, extremely generous, and these things will bless many people, including myself and my one friend here who also does felt stitching and new felt stitchers, all of the things. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love with my new die cutting machine. I took it out, got it all put together, and it makes me think of her when I pull it out. So again, thank you so, so much. Okay, final segment for today. Let's talk about giveaways and winners. In my last Stitching with Nichol episode, I was giving away the Fat Quarter Shop Stitch Quarterly. This goes to Sarah Nelson. Congratulations, Sarah. Please email me at the email address shown right here on the screen with what you won and your physical mailing address, and I will get that out in the mail to you. And I do know I owe some of you. I have heard from you guys since last week's video. I'm working on all of that tomorrow, today when you see this. So look for some tracking numbers coming your way. All right. I have 2 giveaways this week. I don't think I ever showed these, but Fat Quarter Shop sent some things, and I have bundled them together into a quilting bundle and a stitchy bundle, and I think they are awesome. And then I had a generous viewer send a bunch of Aida previously, and I picked 2 colors of Aida. Actually, one of us is the called for, and I'll show you that with the stitching bundle. They're 14 count Aida included with that bundle. Perfect if you're a 14 count or an Aida stitcher. Hopefully that's right down your alley. I like both of these bundles. I think they're both really, really good. So please like the video, subscribe to my channel. Please be over 18. Please be US only for shipping for physical prizes. And use the keyword that I put on the screen somewhere in your comment. First up, the quilt bundle. Use the keyword flag somewhere in your comment, and you are going to get 4 wonderful quilt patterns. We have strippy spools, 2 different sizes for this one, a lap quilt 53.5 by 66.5, or twin 70.5 by 82.5. Really cute, perfect for scrappy quilting. We have, just for the frill of it, this is 42.5 by 54.5. And then we have my favorite, and the reason I said to use the word flag. We have 2 Lori Holt quilts. We have Americana flag, scrappy Americana flag. Is this not gorgeous? I mean, you guys, so good. Finish size 65.5 by 105.5. You need it now to get ready for your patriotic quilts. And then Summer Picnic by Lori Holt as well. This measures 78.5 by 98.5. This too is absolutely stunning. So use the word flag somewhere in your comment for a chance for this quilty bundle. All right, the stitchy bundle. Use the word birdhouse, the 2 words birdhouse, somewhere in your comment. And what you're going to get in this one. So we have the tulips seed packet chart from Fat Quarter Shop. The called for fabric for this is 14 count natural. I have it for you. So you're going to get the fabric and the chart. Also in this bundle, you're going to get the Henny Penny. Wow. can't talk. Henny Penny, designed by Kim Deal. You can stitch it on a bag, or you can stitch it, it shows you here, or it shows you a little, there's a needle minder available for this too. What? Cute. But you can stitch it on fabric as well. Really, really cute. I mean, just stitching the hen would be adorable. And then more Lori Holt. This beautiful hometown neighborhood birdhouse. That's where we get the name for this giveaway. So good. And the finished size on 14 count Aida is 8 by 13.5. Well, I have an 18 by 25 piece of lamb's wool Aida 14 count that I am going to send with this. You just would need to pick up your threads and you can get to stitching. So for this wonderful cross stitch bundle, please use the words birdhouse somewhere in your comment. Make sure that you leave your comment by the date your comment cannot talk. Please make sure you leave your comment by the date shown here on the screen for a chance to win. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. A couple of reminders. I try to link everything that I share in the video as long as I have a link for it, and I do miss some things, so definitely reach out if I do. I leave them down in the comments. If there is not room in the comments, there is a character limit in the description, and I usually do a very thorough description. It will be in the first pinned comment in the comments section, so definitely check there. I always put a note that says check the comments for additional information and links, so be sure and check that out. I never know until the editing portion how long my description is going to be. The other thing is I provide timestamps in my videos, so if you need to hop back to something or you were like, what were those top 10 again? You can check the description box and click the timestamp and it will take you right to that portion of the video. Or if I'm sharing a finish or an FFO, or you're like, oh, what was that chart? I love timestamps. So those are also provided for you down in the description. Thank you guys, as always, for joining me today. Please come back next week. We're going to do a Decorate With Me Easter decor. I'm going to do it vlog style. We got to have a little bit of that Vlogmas, right? We got to have a little flashback to that. So come with me for next week's video. I am going to take you with me as I pull out all of my Easter goodies and decorate. And of course, I am going to share with you guys all of my previous Easter finishes, or if I feel like I need to redo something, and we're going to talk all about the Startathon as well. I hope I'll see you this weekend in the Startathon. I'm going to try to hop around to different rooms and things and just say hey and stitch it up all weekend long, just like you guys are going to. So have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a wonderful Startathon if you're attending. I am going to have a link down below for the tickets. It's $10 for a weekend of fun. And until next time, happy stitching! If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, click that like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to always be notified when I have a new Flosstube stitching or quilting video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.